What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Yeah. I'm not posting as much. I'm working on 3 books and working 40 hours a week behind a bar. So sorry for my hockey coverage slacking in the meantime. But I figured since you have me for a moment of time, and I'll try to get back to updating somewhat regularly, at the very least a couple times a week, especially during the playoffs. It's been a hectic time for me, and it's life. But I'm going to focus in specifically right now on the 2 Southern California teams because I want to talk about that. You look at the Kings and Ducks. They both went out in 4 straight. Both really had good teams. Obviously, you don't get to the playoffs with bad rosters. And you look at the way the Kings just didn't score against Vegas. And you look at the way the Ducks just laid down and fucking died against San Jose. You say to yourself, Jesus Christ, what's in the water south of Santa Barbara, where that's the one hockey team in the state that's not winning in April and May. But again, I just think we'll start with LA. Obviously they re-signed Kopitar 2 years ago, and then last year was the worst year of his career. Reports of his demise were greatly exaggerated, to quote Mark Twain. And he turned in a career year, Selke finalist. I think should be a Hart Trophy finalist. We'll see what happens with that. Again, because he had a phenomenal year. And I think as someone who's a night owl and stays up late and watches West Coast hockey way more than your average person does, because I'm a fucking nerd like that, I saw just what he meant to that team on a night in, night out basis for a team that was offensively inconsistent. So, again, it was good to see him be back to being the Hansi Kopitar we're used to. He's 30, he'll be 31 this summer. He's got some tread on the tires. So anyone that was writing him off last year, you're a moron. Jonathan Quick, again, another guy that gets written off a lot, mostly because he's the very definition of inconsistent. I just want to say for the record that this was one of his best 4-game postseason stretches of all time, and he's a 2-time Cup winner with a Conn Smythe trophy that rewrote the record books during the 2012 playoffs. But he was amazing. They just couldn't score for shit in front of him. I think he's got some more tread left on the tires. He'll be 32. So he can still play. And, again, he's still, I think, a very good goalie. I mean, the argument is Jonathan Quick an elite goalie. Sounds like, the PFD commenter with Joe Flacco. Is Joe Flacco an elite quarterback? I mean, I think in Jonathan Quick's case, when you have 2 Stanley Cup rings and have been, a very, very good goalie for going on a decade, you're pretty elite, for my humble opinion. And Drew Doughty. Contract's up after next season. They can start negotiating and sign up to a deal this upcoming July 1st. I think they will. I think Doughty stays in LA. I think all things on both sides, they want to get a deal done as soon as possible, and I think they will get a deal done. I think Hansi Kopitar's contract, I know that dragged into the season 2 years ago, but again, he wanted to stay in LA. They got it done. They showed him the money. Rob Blake's gonna have to do some really big juggling cap wise, but they'll get the deal done with Doughty. He's the best defenseman in franchise history, and I just mentioned Rob Blake. I think it goes without saying he is a better player than Rob Blake, and that's not a knock on Blake at all. I think Doughty is just that special, and he's 28, so an 8-year deal worth $72 million. Sounds about right. I mean, he's an elite defenseman. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. He's already won 1 Norris Trophy. He's nominated for another 2 Stanley Cups, 2 Olympic gold medals. I don't know what else there is to say, but I think if he plays till he's 30 and retires, he walks into the Hockey Hall of Fame. That's just my opinion. Going south a few miles down the 101, the Anaheim Ducks. Sheesh. Not as much positivity. We've seen yet again that John Gibson can't stay healthy on a consistent basis. We've seen that Father Time is undefeated, and the Getzlaf, Perry, and Kessler contracts are not going to age very, very gracefully. It's just a really weird situation. Here's my thing, and I know this is my personal experience. Getting back with your ex never really works out, and that's what we're seeing with Randy Carlyle. It's not a good career move. It's just one of those situations it didn't work out the first time for a reason. And to go back and revisit it is the very definition of insanity, repeating the same action, expecting a different outcome. And that's not a knock on Carlisle as a coach. He won a cup in Anaheim, was a great coach there. But when they showed him the door in 2011, that's it. That's all she wrote there. Are they going to look in another direction? I don't know. That's going to be something we keep an eye on in the next few days and weeks. Glenn Gulletson got fired from Calgary. A couple weeks after the season. Obviously, we saw Peters resign to Carolina. I think Peters would be a great fit in Anaheim, if I do say so myself. Someone said something about Daryl Sutter going down there. I think Sutter would actually be a better fit in Calgary, not to get too sidetracked. I think him putting his foot in the ass, to quote Red Foreman, of some of those young guys, I think would be a positive thing for them. But we'll see what happens. Again, this is just a really interesting time for hockey in Southern California. Both teams have won cups in the last 11 years, and to go both having to go out 4 straight with both kind of aging nucleuses. I think Anaheim, of the two, is in the less favorable position, which is where they've drafted better. You look at guys like Nick Ritchie, and I know Cam Fowler didn't play in the playoffs, that definitely hurt them, but Lindholm and guys like that, the homegrown talent. You got Max Jones coming out of and Sam Steele coming out of the Canadian junior hockey ranks, but we'll see what happens. I think LA has at least one more run, one maybe 2 more runs left with this nucleus, and I think Rob Blake will move some pieces around the board to try to keep that run more sustainable. But Anaheim's in dire straits, and if I was management, I would fire Randy Carlyle. Not a knock on Carlyle. I just think his voice is falling mute in the locker room. And I look at Mario Nurse's staff, because you look at that Kessler contract. Sheesh. And with Getzlaf and Perry, those are guys that won you a cup. I had no issue with them signing them to those deals in 2013, but now it's shit. We're on the back part of it, but their productivity is starting to go down. And when you play that many games, and the way both of them play, they both play balls to the wall every night, it's going to take a toll on you. So we'll see what happens in Anaheim next year and whether or not they retool things. Anyway, that's all I got. Episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes for the season and beyond. Later, guys.